It is September 12th. Welcome. My name is Karen, coming to you from Salt and Sand Studio in Vermont for our Try This at Home session. Today is Saturday, but maybe not for you if you're watching the recording. Welcome, everyone. Great to have you here. As always, know that if you need to chat, go ahead and make that happen. I can't see it quite as well from the back from my mat, but we work at it. So welcome. Today is a focus on, I called it by the numbers, but essentially it's an encouragement for each of us to take our time to find our way into each of the poses, perhaps by counting the breath. I read a quote this morning. I don't remember whose statement it was. It went something like this: granting energy to the mind is like asking someone to harass you. And one way to avoid harassment of our own minds is to really focus on the breath. So the breath can help us move into postures and out of postures. And if we sort of count the breath, allowing the breath to guide the body, we can find our way there and really find the posture for ourselves. We're going to do that this morning. I'm going to go ahead and take off the eyeballs. Find your comfortable seat. That might mean sitting on something. And we're here together for 50 minutes. If you happen to check Facebook, Salt and Sand Studios, there is a link to a Spotify playlist. If you would like to go ahead and start that, feel free. We're going to scooch forward onto the edge of our block or blanket if we're sitting on something. And the hands can place on the knees or maybe with the palms upward, or perhaps in a more meditative way in your lap with the thumbs gently connecting. Notice where the spine is. You might close your eyes for this, or perhaps they're just sort of softly lidded. We're letting the spine get a little bit long. Use the breath to encourage that. So as you breathe in, you begin to fill the belly, tuck the tailbone, lift the front body just a tiny bit, and let the heart shine a little bit toward the sun. It is sunny here, it's just cold. And we breathe out, softening the heart area, the ribs, and the belly. Breathe in. Let the belly grow really long and wide. Rib cage. Heart lifts. And breathe out. I'm going to take that same feeling, working toward that same shape, this time counting to 4. Breathe in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4. Breathe out, 4. Move to 6. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Breathe out, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, in, and out. Last couple of rounds for 8. In, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last round. In, and out. Huge full deep breath in. We pause momentarily at the top, dropping the shoulders as if the arms are super duper heavy. And we release through the nose. The palms press together at your heart, almost as if they found a home there. And the heart lifts up toward the thumbs. A moment here to consider something that will guide your practice. Maybe that is staying with the breath, or taking your time, or perhaps something more aspirational. But we find this intent, even if now is the only time we think about it. It still influences the practice. Deep full breath in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's get a little bit more physical, finding our way into a child's pose. Thank you, Olivia Newton-John. Knees can be wide in Balasana 2. We're coming face down onto the mat. The head rests on something, your big toes connect for a little bit until I warm up. I'm gonna wear my flowy thing. We're gonna go ahead and place the head on something, and if it resists, maybe you find some sort of cushion or pillow to place under your chest or your head. And if the shoulders get grumpy, you can always bend the elbows outward. Maybe rest the head on the hands. We rock the head a little left and right, beginning to feel the texture of the mat, the temperature of the mat. Maybe even noticing any sounds that sound a little different in this posture than upright and seated. Palms come to the mat if they are not there. Shift into all fours, finding a tabletop with the wrists below the shoulders and the knees right below the hips. We'll take the left leg and float it long behind us, imagining that we're pressing a log away from ourselves, gathering the belly in and up, reach the right arm forward. Exhale, draw the knee and the elbow toward each other, drop your head, scoop the belly in, inhale, extend. Taking your time, breathe out, 3, 2, 1. The elbow comes toward the knee again. Inhale, slowly lengthen out. We're going to drop the right hand to the mat, take a peek over the right shoulder, and then swing the left leg above the right leg, bringing the shoelace side of the foot to the mat. And we'll start to scoot the front of the left hip toward the right heel. For some, coming to forearms feels really good here. For others, it might not. And we round a little between the shoulders and spread the fingers really wide. Taking your time to find a couple extra rounds of breath. Maybe that brings the hips a little closer to that back heel. Fingers remain wide. Use the belly, rise back up, the leg nice and long behind us. This time we're going to bend the knee like we're going to step on the clouds and pump the leg up and down. On an exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, extend the leg once more and bring the knee down to the mat. Little shifting around to refine your tabletop, where we move into that sequence on the other side, an extension of the right leg behind us, breath in. Pause for a moment. Next breath in, left arm floats. Take your time. Count if it helps to focus. Draw the belly in and up, square the hips to the mat. Exhale for 3, drawing the elbow and knee toward each other. Might be a balance challenge. Inhale, extend. Once again, elbow and knee toward one another. Drop your head, scoop the belly. Inhale, get long. Left hand drops a peek over the left shoulder to shift the right leg over the left. Draw the top of the foot to the ground and shift your hips, especially the front of the right hip, back toward the left heel. Belly in and up as you lift back to a 3-legged tabletop, and bend the knee like you're stepping on the clouds. A little pumping of the leg up and down. You're using glutes, hamstrings, and quad. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, press that leg behind. And breath out draws the knee back to the mat. There may be some shifting around here to refine a tabletop. Let's work a little into our wrists, bringing the sitting bones back toward the heels. We flip the backs of the hands onto the mat so the fingers point toward the knees. That may be plenty for you, or maybe you can lift up into more of a tabletop, maybe even squeeze the fists together as you rock forward and backward, opening up the backs of the hands and the wrists. You might also feel this in the thumb. Now we're going to take the hands, palms down again, fingers either pointing to the sides of the mat or maybe toward your knees. And once again, perhaps this is plenty. It is your practice, not mine. So if that works for you, you do that, or maybe you play around with a shifting forward and backward, opening up the inner wrists. And we take the hands right under the shoulders, wrists right below the shoulders, back into our tabletop. We're going to scoot the toes under, press the sitting bones back toward the heels, starting to stretch out the bottoms of the feet. We don't sit all the way down because we're going to float the knees off the mat just a couple of inches. We're engaging the quads now and really working with the belly. Super slowly, count of 5. Lift the hips and press the heels to the mat for a downward dog. The knees might remain bent. That's totally cool. You do what works for your body. 4 and 5. We aim for a long spine. Maybe pedal into the feet. Pressing the chest toward the thighs and the backs of the thighs toward the back of your space. Breathe in, rise up to your tiptoes. Exhale, bend the knees a lot. Look past your hands. Walk to the hands. Take your time. Finding your forward fold at the front of the mat. It could be a rag doll. Head is super duper heavy, almost so heavy that it's like it doesn't exist anymore. Knees soft, belly touches the thighs. Maybe a little sway. A breath out, the hands release to the mat really slowly to the count of at least 8. You're going to unravel, rooting to rise. 4, 5, 6, 7, mountain pose, hands by your sides. Palms might face forward. On a breath in, nice and slow, arms sweep out and up overhead. Exhale, palms together at your heart for Samastitihi. Here we notice how the body can draw the energy from the earth as if you're lifting the inner arches of the feet. And that energy draws upward, up the inseams, stacking the knees over the ankles, the hips over the knees, and the shoulders over the hips. Keeping the palms pressed together, float the arms high, breathing in. On an exhale, bend your elbows, bring your fingers to your neck or between the shoulder blades. Press the back of the head into the forearms like they're pillows. We'll work into a twist, but first, intertwine the fingers. Press the palms to the back of the head. The thumbs are to the sides of the neck. Maybe a little massage here. We're going to rise up to the balls of the feet, finding a little balance. Draw the belly in and up. Watch the breath, count the breath. Draw the heels back down, a breath in. Exhale, left arm forward, right arm behind you. Take a twist over to the right. Counting 3 to 5 breaths as you expand the arms and the chest and work to keep the hips square to the front of your mat. The right hand drops behind you, maybe just below the bottom, and the left arm floats high, taking a little lift, opening up the heart while retaining a bit of the twist. Lengthen the space between the bony hips and the lower ribs. On an inhale, both arms sweep high overhead. We're going to exhale, intertwine the fingers, bring the hands back behind the head. Long breath in for tall, tall, tall in the body. And exhale, a tilt to the right. There's sort of these little bat ears going on with our elbows, working to keep them nice and wide, even as we're expanding the left rib cage like it's gills. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, long. Exhale, tilt to the opposite side. Inhale, draw through center. Exhale, twist over to the left, left arm behind, right arm in front. We're working to straighten the elbows, but not lock them. Fingertips spread like the most amazing tips of birds' wings. And we reverse this. Left arm drops behind, right arm floats high. Maybe you count your breath to get there. The torso rotates a little bit to send the heart more toward the clouds. Opening up the entire right side body. As we inhale, come forward, both arms lift high. Exhale for a forward fold, maybe the knees bend to support. Ardha Uttanasana, a flat back, so the fingertips might slide up to the shins or maybe even the thighs to find this beautiful long tabletop spine, as if you could set your morning coffee on it and not have it slide off until you fold, but then magically someone will catch it for you. Exhale, release and fold. Inhale, press all the way to standing. 4, 5, arms sweep up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Exhale, forward fold, hinge at your hips. We'll take another breath in for a half lift. And glide the left foot to the back of the mat. Take your time. Let's take 3 breaths. 3, 2, and runner's lunge. Maybe you adjust your hands. Perhaps you want to minimize wobbliness, so the right foot moves out to the right. Let the shoulder blades work together as you use the belly energy and move it away from the right thigh. Press into the back heel, left fingertips on the mat. Breathe in, bring the right hand to your heart. As you exhale, peel open, right arm high, a twist. 3 breaths. Extending the spine on each breath in, twisting the spine, rinse out the toxins, breath out. A breath in, exhale, right hand to the mat, drop the back knee. We'll go ahead and bring the hands to the right thigh as we rise up, a modified Anjaneyasana. Here we're really working the tailbone downward, and the belly in and up. Maybe scoot the front foot forward and or outward for balance, and we press into the heel of the front foot and the shoelace side of the back foot, opening up our psoas, our hip flexor. Breathe for 3. Lift the heart 2. And 1. And once again, the hands intertwine. We bring the hands to the right hip as we spin around to the right and drop the chin toward the chest. If you're gripping the mat with your toes, you can loosen. Inhale, draw through center. Float the arms right out in front. Lock them back into the shoulders, lift the heart. And see with your breath where the balance is, where the belly is, what parts of the body you're using to support the balance and the strength building of this posture. There's also flexibility. Inhale, arms sweep high. Heart lifts as if there's this beautiful string of light attached to the sun, and you're actually feeding energy into the sun, and the sun is feeding it back to you. Big, huge breath in. Exhale, hands frame your front foot for a half split. Sometimes we need to take our hands to support extending the front leg. Maybe we have blocks underneath the hands to help us out in finding a long spine. The toes point toward your torso. Big breath in. Exhale, the right foot comes back to the mat. You might need to scooch it back so the knee can come right over the ankle. We'll plant the hands right outside the foot, tuck the back toes under, return to a runner's lunge. And because we're working by the numbers today, and Crescent Warrior does not have a number, we're actually going to start there like it's 0. Hover over your thigh, hands by your sides, inhale, float up to a crescent shape. This is a heart opener. We're super powerful in the back leg. Sink a little deeper into the front knee, breathe. Hands draw to the heart. We step into a standing posture at the front of the mat. Inhale, arms sweep overhead. Breathe out, hinge at your hips, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Breathe out, hands plant. 3 counts to find runner's lunge with the right foot at the back of the mat. Maybe more. Right hand down, left hand to your heart. Breathe in, extend the spine. Breathe out, twist, and if it feels okay for the shoulder, the left arm will float high. It does not feel okay for my shoulder, so we're going to twist this way. Any adjustments that make the posture work better for you, go ahead and take them. As long as you feel safe, slightly challenged. Next breath in, get long. Exhale, left hand to the mat. Drop your back knee. Modified Anjaneyasana, toes untuck, hands come to your left thigh. If you're feeling kind of imbalanced, the left foot might move out to the left. You take a little more energy to sink into the front heel and hip crease. The hands intertwine and they come outside the left hip as you twist around to the left and drop your chin. We'll inhale, draw forward, both arms in front, lock them into the shoulders. Really start to feel the glutes on the right side activate. If you're not feeling that, you might press a little more energy into the back foot. And we lift the heart right from the top of the pelvis all the way to the sternum. Next breath in, arms reach high, Anjaneyasana. Arms settle back into the shoulders, but we don't lose the activation, the liveliness of the belly. Breathe in, lift the heart. Exhale for a half split. Hands frame your front foot. Maybe your hand takes the foot outward to find your leg extended. There could be a huge bend in the front knee or none at all. Aiming for a long spine and a fold over the leg. And this time the left foot plants on the mat, maybe scooches back a little bit. Hands creep forward, back toes tuck, runner's lunge. Situate the distance between the legs, front and back, left to right, so you can hover over the thigh with balance, pressing into the back heel, powering up the back leg and the belly, reaching the collarbones like they're grinning side to side. Rise up, crescent warrior, warrior 0. This time we'll rise to standing, right foot meets the left. Hands drop behind you and the fingers intertwine at your low back, maybe below your bottom. Front body gets nice and wide. There's a little space between the feet. Rise up to the balls of the feet. Stay there as you sink your bottom, bending your knees. Modified chair pose, super duper balance. Big breath in, heels to the mat, forward fold. Hands might float from the spine, drop your head. Hands release, next breath out, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, long, long spine. Exhale, hands plant, and we step to a high plank. We have not moved into high plank in this practice until now. We really reach the heels behind, find lots of balance. Drop your knees, come halfway down, elbows like bookends on your rib cage. Heart forward and up for a back bend. A child's pose, a tabletop, or straight to downward dog. 5 beautiful breaths in your double D, downward dog, DD. I am warmed up. Working by the numbers, we start with a warrior 1. Breath in, right leg floats. Take your time. Breath out as the knee draws toward the nose and the foot can plant inside the right hand. Taking our time, we bring the back heel to the mat. Breath in, rise up, warrior 1. Sweet, juicy bend in your front knee. This is a heart opener with the hips squaring to the front of the mat. You're going to step back into chair pose, arms overhead. Take your time. Big breath in. Exhale, release into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Super tabletop spine. Exhale, forward fold. Step or float back to a high plank. Your choice to drop the knees for your low plank or not. Back bend. And downward facing dog. Working by the numbers of warrior 1 on the left leg floats, breath in. Breath out, knee draws toward the nose and the foot steps. Adjust the back foot down to the mat. Rise up. We step into chair pose once again. This time, hands to the heart. Your choice to take an upright twist remaining in your chair or to shift the heart forward with a long spine and twist. So it might be this way or it might be this way. Long, slow inhale returns you to center. To exhale, twist on the other side. Inhale through center. Exhale, forward fold. Breathe in, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. High plank. You can always skip the vinyasa and go straight to downward dog. Low plank. Back bend. Downward facing dog. Working again by the numbers, we'll find warrior 1. Breath in, right leg floats. Take your time. Breath out, knee toward the nose, the foot steps. Warrior 1. Breath in. Open up warrior two. For many, that means extending the space between the feet, front to back, or in the case of warrior two, as the hips are opened up to the long edge, side to side. Front palm flips to reverse the warrior. The heart faces the sky a little bit more. Belly is active, glutes are active. Warrior two. Reverse. Side angle, right forearm inside the thigh, left arm sweeps around. Maybe the bicep comes straight over the ear, or maybe the arm extends nice and high to twist a little bit more of the chest toward the sky. Maybe challenge the core with the right arm reaching straight toward in front of you. Return to warrior two. Bring the hands to the hips. Extend the right toes toward the side of the mat. Fingers into your hip creases as you fold halfway down, working the hinge at the hips. Shoulders toward the hips, belly in and up. Exhale, lower all the way down. Prasarita Padottanasana, the toes are slightly in, the heels slightly out. Finding breath with movement. Inhale, rise halfway up. We're going to work toward the opposite side of the mat into a warrior one. So you might start by drawing the hands toward the left foot, coming to the ball of the right foot, and spinning around to what was the back of the mat. Back heel draws to the mat, rise up, warrior one. Don't forget the outer edge of that back foot and really extend the belly. In looking at myself on camera, I can see I have shifted forward. So as not properly using my pelvic floor, lifting that up and allowing the back to open, to bend, to lift the heart. Big breath in, warrior two. Left arm flips, reverse the warrior. You see how you can twist the torso a little bit to open the heart a little bit more, and working still to extend the right side of the body, even though that's where we're sort of crunching it a little bit. Warrior two. Reverse. Side angle. This time, as you turn the nose to look down at your left foot, you're also going to bring the right hand to meet the left and come to the ball of the back foot. And a little bit of a sort of combo, humble warrior, crescent warrior. Bring your hands to your heart. Step the back foot up to meet the front. Slowly float the left knee in toward your heart. Move into warrior three, finding a nice steady breath and steady gaze. The heart shifts forward. The left leg floats behind. You might keep the knee bent to start, especially if you have tight hamstrings, as I do. A micro bend in your front knee, but really use the belly. And as you extend the left leg, imagine you're pushing a log away from you. Warrior 3 or airplane, the hands could come by the sides or up, arms up by your ears. We'll return to Warrior 2, facing the left side, currently left side of the mat. Reverse the warrior. That was funny. I just almost reversed the wrong way. What's a reverse reverse? No, warrior 2. Hands return to your hips. Pivot on the right heel. And then bring the heels inward, the heels outward. Draw the tailbone down and sink into your knees. Temple pose. Elbows up in a cactus or goalpost shape. Belly's working for you here. Lift the left heel off the mat. Sink a little deeper into your seat. Draw the right heel back down. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Tuck the tailbone. Lift the right heel off the mat. Sink into your seat. Draw the heel back down. Squeeze into the shoulder blades. Lift your elbows. Both heels come off the mat. Heels draw back down. Hands to your hips, rise up, step back to the front of your mat. Find breath, find extension, lift the heart, hands draw back to the heart. This time the right knee moves in toward the heart. We find a nice steady gaze, long, slow breath, and slowly we tilt the heart forward, float the right leg behind. Warrior 3 or airplane. Rise back up, knee to your heart, and the foot drops to the mat. All right, we shake it out a little bit. Put your left foot in, and put your left foot out. And we're gonna work our way down to the mat, but first, mountain pose. We are coming to you from the incredible Green Mountain State, where things are starting to turn a little golden, a little red, a little orange. We imagine here all of the beauty of the mountain that is below the surface, like an iceberg. A mountain is rising up from much deeper than its sort of visible foundation to us. And there's even a little movement in that mountain, a little bit of agility to weather whatever happens around it and on it. Arms sweep high overhead. Breathe out, forward fold. Find a halfway lift. Exhale, hands plant. We step back for our high plank and drop our knees. Ankles cross and we roll over them, coming onto our seats. Then we're at the back of the mat, so we're going to scooch forward, however it works for you, because eventually we're going to move all the way down to the mat. A dear friend who also practices this practice with us on this particular channel, if you will, was mentioning this core work being beneficial, so we're going to do it today. We're going to lift, lift, lift the heart. So if you have to draw the tailbone down, and imagine the navel moves toward the spine. Arms reach in front, and they lock back into the shoulders, so the heart is a little bit lifted here. We take a breath in. On an exhale, twist over to the right. Keep your hands as wide as your shoulders. We're working the core, including our obliques. Breathe here for 2 and 1. Inhale, come through to center. Exhale, twist to the other side. Breathe here for 2 and 1. Inhale, draw to center. Exhale, press the big toe mounds into the mat as you lower halfway down. Arms lock into the shoulders, heart lifts. Belly's working a lot, nice and activated. Breathe in. Exhale, twist to the right. A full round of breath. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Don't forget the heart. Find a full round of breath. Inhale, center. Exhale, halfway down. One more round. And twist. Inhale, center. And twist. Inhale, center. And 3, all the way down to the mat. 2 and 1. Woo! Arms overhead. Legs extend onto the mat. Toes point, fingers reach. Breathe in. Full body pencil stretch. Working this 5'1" body as long as I can. Next breath in, arms reach high toward the sky. On a breath out, they lower by your sides. Soles of the feet glide onto the mat. The right ankle crosses above the left knee. So we're not sort of hanging out here like we're sitting around having a chat in the pub. We're activating the ankle and the sole of the flying foot. Maybe for our supine figure 4, we simply press the knee away with the hand. Or perhaps we have a little more to work with. We scuttle the shoulder blades onto the mat, draw the left knee in toward the shoulder, maybe take a hold of the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. But we really work to soften the shoulder blades on the count of 3, 2, and 1, so they're kind of kissing the mat. The right elbow helps press the right knee away from you, working the hip a little bit differently than we did in the beginning of class and in our Warrior 2. Now the sole of the left foot plants onto the mat. We take a hold of either the big toe or the ankle or maybe the pant leg and extend that leg nice and long. I'm going to work to the calf. If you're super stretchy in your hamstrings, it might feel okay for the body to extend the left leg on the mat. Then the knee draws into the heart, and we press it out and away from us to the right. Maybe even the outer edge of the foot comes to the mat, it might not. Maybe the knee comes to the mat, it might not. Sort of a combo, happy baby, Supta Baddha. Knee draws back in, and this time we scoot the knee all the way over the left knee. This time, really as if you're gonna waggle your foot sitting cross-legged in a pub. We're gonna move the left foot out to the left edge of the mat, let the hips follow, and drop the knees over to the right for a twist. Hands flop outward, and if it works for your neck and your head, the gaze moves over the left shoulder. You might shift the shoulder blades around once again so that they're snuggled into the mat. Imagine that the energy is moving down the left side of the body and pressing the left hip forward toward the front edge of the mat. We breathe here. 3, 2, see what I did there? Slowed it so far down it'll be like 6. And 1. We heel toe the left foot back to the mat in front of the hips. Shift the hips so they're centered and unhinge that right knee. Left ankle crosses above the right, making our way into our supine figure 4, supine pigeon on this side. Perhaps enough to have the hand press the knee away, or we can work with the right knee moving toward the shoulders, the shoulder blades toward the mat, the breath filling the body in support of this stretch in the glutes, the outside of the left thigh, and in the hip. The sole of the right foot plants. We take a hold of the left big toe, ankle, calf, thigh, and extend the left leg high toward the sky, as if itself it was this flower stem absorbing all of the beautiful nutrients from the earth and reaching toward the sky to get more sun. Once again, if you feel stretchy enough, the right leg can extend. Reach the heel toward the sky, that left heel. Knee then draws into the heart on a breath out. We press it out to the side. Bring the knee back up with the hand to give it a good squeeze to the heart. Cross it over the right ankle. Shift the hips to the right, shift the right foot way to the right side of the mat, drop the knees to the left. A flopping out of the arms and hands, and maybe the nose moves over the right shoulder. We breathe here 3. 2. Then 1. And you start to scoot the right foot toward the center, shift the hips to align them, and move into a happy baby with the knees in toward the heart. Sorry, the knees in toward the underarms, the soles of the feet as if they could step on the sky. Hands might take a hold of the inner or outer edges of the feet. This is our final posture before Shavasana. So I encourage a rocking left and right to massage out the spine. Gives us a lot of yummy to meet the rest of our day. Maybe if you like on the way into Shavasana, take a little flying Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet coming together, drawing the inner edges of the feet toward your navel. Tuck your chin. Shavasana is next. Find any props you might need for under your neck, behind your knees, or on your torso. If it feels better for your low back, the knees might bend, but you can bring the feet a little wider than the knees to loosen the low back. Otherwise, legs extend wide on the mat. Feet drop out to the sides. Shoulder blades kiss the mat and the arms flop outward. They might be somewhat close to the body if the shoulder blades don't make it to the mat. Here, rather than providing energy to the mind, we watch the breath, observe it, and count down from 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. A beautiful space of Shavasana where yoga, the notion of yoking things together, breath, body, spirit, intention, where all that comes to fruition, integrates. Deepen the breath once again, starting to re-notice the body on the mat. And let the breath fill the body as if it was an incredible white light, this stupendous light It makes its way into all the nooks and crannies, all the negative spaces, all the dark places, fills the body with so much light, mixing with your breath, your prana, your life force. That light starts to shine out the body. Reawakens it so much that you can roll onto one side and give yourself a moment to return to your intention that you considered at the beginning of practice. Adding a tiny bit of gratitude into that recipe, gratitude for yourself, for making the time to come to your mat. Keep the eyes closed to press yourself to a comfortable seat. And in this seat, even though practice is about to end, we don't slouch off, we don't curve down, we don't round into the shoulders. We find length and strength and stability, power of the spine, of our mind, of our muscles, of our breath. We press the palms together at the heart, lifting the heart toward the thumb knuckles. We'll close this practice with an Om. I have come to practice Om in a hum as opposed to an out loud chant in preparation for moving yoga indoors and live. We will retain our video classes as well. So the lips press together, the jaw drops to separate the teeth. We imagine that the Om will vibrate not just in the mouth, but on the lips and in the throat. Big, big, big breath in. The thumb knuckles move right to the third eye center, right in the center of your forehead, where you might imagine the mind is sort of hanging out. We are bringing energy into the mind now, not with the idea of harassing, but with the idea of focus. And you take a moment to consider all people in need and perhaps offer up, dedicate the merits of the practice out to all beings, or perhaps to one being who we think could use it. A breath in. Namaste. Thank you for joining me, Karen, at Salt and Sand Studio in Vermont for this yoga intermission, our try it at home sessions. It was great, great, great to practice with you. As always, please share, like, donate if you have the funds. If you don't. And as I mentioned, we are working to bring, if you are local or when you are local, having quarantined appropriately, we're working our way toward live in-studio classes with our personal practice bubbles that we have set up. We will continue to do video yoga as well so that we can encompass the whole community who is practicing or desiring to practice. Again, my name is Karen. Great to have you here. Live out your day and have fun. Thank you. Bye.